Good evening, everyone. My name is Priyanka Negi. I am the academic manager with Myedubag. Welcome to you all to today's webinar on hybrid learning, the new norm. I would like to start the session by briefing about Myedubag. Myedubag is a brand by I Deserve Education Private Limited based in New Delhi. We are operational from 2018 and work in 4 different segments of school education, namely self-learning, academic and non-academic content, distribution, publishing, homeschooling through live classes. Currently, we are active with 200 plus schools and more than 1 lakh students across India and UAE. I'm very happy to share that we have been featured by Ed Arabia and Your Story as top educational company of India. Now, as you all know that today's topic is hybrid learning, the new norm. Today, we have 3 eminent school leaders who are going to speak about hybrid learning. I am very honored to introduce you all, introduce our today's speakers, that is Ms.Noopur Saxena, Ms.Anupma Saxena, Ms.Namrata Agarwal, and Ms.Pragati Sharma from Edmonger, who is going to moderate the session. Now, I would like to introduce you all to Ms.Noopur Saxena. With more than 19 years of experience in ICSE and CBSE schools as senior chemistry teacher and coordinator for various curricular and co-curricular activities, Noopur Saxena is presently working in Evergreen Public School, Vasundhara Enclave, Delhi, as senior academic in charge. She is recently felicitated by Indraprastha School, Sahodya, and Delhi Sahodya Schools Complex with Savitri Bhai Phule Samman 2021. Now, our second eminent leader for the session is Ms. Anupma Saxena. Anupma Saxena has been an integral part of education industry for over 29 years. Proud recipient of CBSE Teachers Award, Dr. Anupma is a graduate and postgraduate in English literature from Kirori Mal College, Delhi University. She is also a graduate in education in English and special English. She has conducted more than 150 workshops across the country on various topics. She has been appointed as a member of Inspection Committee, CBSE affiliation, City Coordinator of CBSE, Center Superintendent for Board Examination and many exams. She is a member of ATP 200 program, CBSE, member of Core Committee, CBSE, Employability Skills, Vice President Meerut-UP School Complex. Her recent contributions are development of study material for CBSE Diksha Vidyadhan portal, creating podcasts for Shiksha Swani. She is a recipient of many awards like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Avantika Shiksha Samman, Dr. Radhakrishnan Samman Award, Green Thinker Award, Ganga, and Women Achievers Award. Now, our second speaker for today's session is Ms. Namrata Agarwal. She is one of the finest academicians from Rajasthan who has led some renowned schools. With a rich experience of implementing the best practices in her schools, she is currently heading the renowned school of Pali in Rajasthan, that is Delhi Public School. Now I would like to introduce you all to the moderator of the session, that is Ms.Pragati Sharma. She is an experienced academician with over 10 years of experience in school education. She is currently the founder of Edmonger Consulting, a firm dedicated to uplift the standard of school education in India. I welcome you all Okay. Now, so I would like to request Ms.Pragati Sharma to moderate the session. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Priyanka, for lovely introduction, and a very good evening to one and all. As introduced by Priyanka, I am Pragati Sharma, moderator for today's session. And we are well aware of this situation these days, and we all know how COVID has affected the school education, not just the school education, the entire education system. And there are so many things which we would want to discuss. And now the latest and the most need of the hour topic is hybrid learning. So when I talk about hybrid learning, the school education system needs a change. There's an entire 180-degree shift. Now we have to run our system online and offline both. And we have to bring a blend into the system, and then we have to come up with this unique solutions which will make our the school run smoothly. The students are able to get the education properly. So without any further ado, these discussions will definitely help us to come with a lot of confidence and lot of ideas to throw. So my first question to the leaders here is to Ms.Anupma Saxena, that if ma'am, we know that there are a lot of technology required, there are a lot of system, new programs, on and off. Some classes needs to be online, some classes. As a leader, how do you deal with it?
I think it is this entire Corona period has been a blessing in disguise. Something that we had always never ever, I would say, used, that online education, and it had been used as a fashion tool only in various schools, just to have a smart board for the heck of having it. It became a necessity. And it came as a pleasant change. Though we adapted to it, we had a lot of difficulty in handling it. I remember when we started with the online education and we had to train our teachers to do that. Yes, it took us almost a week or 10 days to make each and every teacher go into it. But today's time, now that we have offline classes, now that 80% of the classes have become offline, we still feel this to be a real boon. A hybrid learning has come up to be as the most innovative thing, I would say, in education sector today. A merger of online and offline, both the ways, have made education even more productive. Not only while teaching, when we are taking up classes, there are concepts. We have always been saying that there have been concepts which are better understood through through watching them and through making them rather more acceptable. So even some of these concepts, some of these concepts have become easier for the teachers to understand. We believe, it is said that what we hear is more captured. It is more captured, and we are able to retain it for a longer time. And moreover than that, uh, you know, basically speaking, we have four kinds of learners. We have auditory learner, we have visual learner, we have kinesthetic learner, we have tactile learner. When we adapt this hybrid learning, we are able to reach out to each one of children, whichever kind of learner that the child is. Gardner has said that if children do not learn the way we teach, we need to teach the way they learn. So hybrid learning has given us an opportunity to reach out to each one of the children. When we use it in this way, children understand it, and then of course you also break through the monotony of being a sage on the stage. You know, gone are the times. Gone are the times. Not only in the day-to-day use. it has come as a boon to most of the unnecessary holidays, unnecessarily offs that fall in our day-to-day routine. For example, we belong to Meerut, a belt where almost, during your power days, it's impossible to run schools for 10 to 12 days. So this this has come up recently. There is a band. There is a band, so of course, you cannot have classes. But this has become so acceptable to children. Now the school may be physically off, but learning will never be off. That has become one of the I as principal, I as leader of the school would count it to be the most important aspect that it has come up with. And that of course is an administrative adjustment, I would say. But beyond that, as a teacher, I would say it has given my throat a little rest. It has given my children's ear a little rest. Then listening to my voice, it has given a break to the indiscipline in the class. It has given to the attentiveness. It has brought in more attentiveness. Children are able to focus. When they shift from teacher, when I would say, all right, now let's listen to this. Can we do it online, children? Can we really make it? Would you please stand up and come out? You have your body kinesthetics working on. You have certain directions which you are able to tell. When you go for a soft skill while teaching, we take up English and that intonation, that right pronunciation. Maybe in northern India, it is not that much of a problem. When you go to Western India, when you go to Southern India, yes, pronunciation becomes a problem, a bit of a problem then from the uh, the most accurate pronunciation or intonation or speech part of it. So when you are able to work it out in your day-to-day class teaching, this indeed is a great boon. I would count it to be a great boon, and it has really been working most effectively. Now I've got more than only up to say classes nursery to two. Few children are not coming. The rest of the school is coming, but still, we were the first school to have a smart board in each and every classroom. We have around 45 classrooms, and we have 45 smart boards. And it is now that it has become a useful thing. It has become a useful thing today. So this is now each and every teacher has been using it, and this has become a real happiness. I mean, when we were talking about happy classrooms in CBSE, of course, this hybrid learning came as one of the tools for us. So that is it. Thank
So,
you.
ma'am, I would just say it like it has made us more powerful. All the restrictions which were there with us.
More powerful. Yes, it
All
is.
the
It is.
restriction which we had. Yes.
Powering the empowered, powering the empowered, or empowering the powered. I don't know whichever way you would like to put it. But yes, it has really given us a great support. It has indeed come as a great
We
support.
are as smart as corporate sectors. Like earlier corporate sectors, if you want to like take an off, okay, you do work from home. So now we also have that power to
Work from home.
and children also
Yes,
have
I
the
would like
power
to add.
go for work from home. Yes, study from home.
Yes,
They are
I'll
on
tell you.
vacation. They
Well,
have the power.
to add to that, two of my teachers were getting married. They were getting their haldi ceremony done, and they were busy with their online classes also. So they didn't have to go for a
Awesome.
days off. And in fact, one of my teachers, she was in her family way. She took an off only for the day the child was delivered.
She delivered.
So rest of the days, even from the hospital, and as a positive support to one of my teachers who was fighting with against cancer. It is only for a week when she underwent 3 operations that she had to go for a leave. Rest of the 4 months was such a great support to her. And she's recently this Monday she joined us,
Wow.
and she'd been on online for almost 6 months.
Awesome. So I think schools are not going to lose the good teachers, and the schools.
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. No way.
Absolutely awesome. So I feel now we are more powered, we are more smarter, we are more tech savvy, and there are so many. But I still want to hear from our other speakers. So I would go to Ms.Noopur Saxena.
Thank you.
Say
First
the
of
whole
all,
education leadership.
okay. Ms.Pragati, thank you so much. And from this platform, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to my principal ma'am, who has given me this opportunity to be a part of this conclave today and to be with my worthy, I would say, co-panelists. Lots to learn from you, Anupma ma'am and Namrata ma'am, both of you. As Anupma ma'am has put forth her insight into hybrid learning, I do believe that it is a strong backbone for us right now. That is, I'm talking about technology, that it has supported us in more ways than one. But there are other ramifications, if I may put it that way, or my perspective on this hybrid learning is slightly different from what Anupma ma'am has just put forth. And I would like to take the discussion to the ancient times of India, when we had this beautiful Gurukul and the Guru Shishya Parampara, which is still there in contemporary world in the way of brick and mortar physical school as we see today. So it was only due to that rigorous training which a child, a prince or a commoner had at the Gurukul that we had the likes of the great iconic Shishya, which is Eklavya. And I'm sure you are going to keep that in mind. And also the great Raja Ram, the virtuous king, I would say. So it is all, I would say, the takeaway for them from the Gurukul. They had to be away from home. So I feel that unless we have this physical school in action for a greater period of time, that is, I do not deny the presence of technology, but I do feel that the presence of physical school is actually very vital in the life and holistic growth of an individual. If I were to talk about school life, then I have to think about the tiny tots from the age group of around 3 plus, till the age group of 18, till they move out of school from senior secondary way. So there are various growth phases, and every phase needs, like the needs of each phase of this growth are different. A tiny tot comes to school, has a physical interaction with the teacher, with the peer group for say about 3 or 4 days. Then suddenly, not suddenly, I would say periodically, they are put into online schooling. So the child again gets a disconnect immediately. So the child then tries to cope up with online classes from home, right? And on the 7th day again, then when the week starts afresh, the child is actually lost, because the child now has to reconnect with the physical schooling, that is with the peer group and with the teachers alike. And as we grow further up, it is actually very difficult. I do understand that there are various tools. There are various tools for teachers, for students. The resources become easily accessible, and it is self-paced learning. And they can also, for I would say, help out. This kind of hybrid learning can help out students who want to go in for part-time jobs. For those working students who are studying as well as working, for them, this really works out well. But if we were to think about the social skills, which the children need very much, because we all know that famous sentence, a man is a social animal. He can't live in isolation with machines, right? All the time with software and hardware and a machine in front of him is going to make him lose out on his social instincts and self-discipline and self-motivation and that healthy competition, which we can see in the four walls of a school, if I may put it, the premises of the school. That healthy competition slowly dies out. And what the child is doing online is basically project presentation, or he's completing his assignment, he's submitting it. And maybe there are certain children, we have to remember that India is not a completely developed nation, that everyone is above that level that all of us can afford all these devices, internet facilities. And most of the remote learners, that is what we have faced in our school. And I'm sure you, the other panelists, worthy panelists of this session will agree that we've had quite a few students who have not been able to take up online classes. So even if we have tried to give our best, but due to paucity of, I would say, due to paucity of funds, due to financial crisis, which is varying from individual to individual, it is not happening. So many a times, these children who are remote learners, as we label them, they have not been able to keep up. And some of them have even turned out to be school dropouts as well. And also, I have noticed, because we work at the ground level, so we really know that there are children who are there with special needs. And there, we have found that in online learning, they've had this problem of concentration. And we have really seen that although they enjoy being there as part of the online sessions, which we arrange for them, but it is much easier to teach them, handle them, and also to make them gain that confidence once they are in front of a physical mentor or a guide or a teacher. And I always feel that, again, it reminds me as I'm talking, because I brought in the concept of Guru Shishya Parampara, which is very important, as the moral values are eroding drastically. We are becoming very mechanized because of this influx of technology into our school systems. Although it has been a great help in these unprecedented times. But even if you remember Lord Buddha, his dad got the news from his astrologers that this son is going to be either a great monarch or he is going to be renouncing the world to become an ascetic. As any father, as any ambitious father, and that too a ruler, he tried his best to give his child all the facilities, all the luxuries of a royal life. But as destiny had it, Siddhartha Gautam had to face the realities of life. So the more we keep the child included in the house environment, in the home environment, with one machine, with one technology, the child is not able to cope up with the real life situations and challenges with which the world is going to put up. So I'm not against hybrid schooling, but it's only my opinion that if you were to talk about hybrid, and being a science student, I would say hybrids, we study as the exact intermediate of the two organisms, right? But here hybrid, the percentage, if I were to say, it should be near about 80% of offline and only 20% of online, I would say mix. That amalgamation would not harm anyone, and we'll be able to have this inclusive learning for all students. Thank you, Ms. Pragati.
Absolutely, Noopur ma'am. Okay. You have brought in those points. I think they were so close to every teacher's heart that, okay, now I really want to support this child who is not able to do his or her homework on time. I want to pep him up or to pep her up. So no doubts and things like, we all have to accept this fact that human is a social creature, and we all love to interact and have that warmth from each other, so which can be only provided by building an immortal classroom. But I would like to now go to Ms. Namrata. So what are her views as a leader, how we can bring this hybrid system smoothly to the school, or how we can accept it smoothly?
Ma'am, first of all, I would like to thank you to provide me that kind of platform which is required. Actually, it is required to get our hearts out with this hybrid learning.
Yeah, everybody is struggling with so many new things.
We are struggling. How can we convey our things, convey our heart out, convey our opinion, if it is good or not. So, I also do believe that it's a kind of, COVID is a kind of blessing for the education field. It is in disguise, but it is a kind of blessing that it has taken out the human beings from their comfort zone. We were in our comfort zone. Parents were in comfort zone that we have sent our kids to the school and now we are free. What they are doing, that is on the heads of teachers only or school.
The
Now,
moment it will go back, it will go something
exactly.
over, we will just bombard on the school.
Exactly. So now they have come to know that to be a teacher, it's a very difficult part. Earlier, teachers, they were not getting that much of respect they need or they required. Actually, it is required. We need to give respect to the teacher until unless they are doing their work, this is their job, this is their duty, we have sent our kids on your shoulders and everything. Now they have come to know that it is very difficult to make their kids to do the work. It is difficult for them to make their kids do the work, and they are having only 1 or 2 kids, and we as a teacher, as an educator, we are having thousands and 2000s of kids all together. Still we are taking care of it, है ना? So I believe that it's a kind of blessing on education field. Now somewhere we are getting heard. So now from like it's 100 of years, the students learning activities, they were limited, they were confined to only classrooms, and they were usually following the passive teacher centric model. However, the rise in digital transformation, it has brought a new alternative in this form of hybrid learning. So, and this happened because of sudden and widespread disruption of because caused by COVID-19. It has forced educators to evolve their approach to ensure learning that should be continuity for all students, whether they are in their homes, whether they are out of their state, cities, whether anywhere they are. So first, as an educator, or we should make the students learn that what is hybrid learning. We should not depend on that online teaching. It's not a kind of online teaching. Hybrid learning is the
Online and
Anupama
offline.
ma'am, thank you so much. So hybrid learning, it's a kind of new educational model. It's not on online or offline studies. Like it's a educational model that involves some students attending class in person while they are in classroom, or simultaneously they can join from cafeterias, dormitory, anywhere. As Anupama ma'am gave the example of a teacher. And she was getting her haldi ceremony done, and she was taking online.
Yes.
So
Yes.
And I would like to give my example also, ma'am. Last year when the pandemic was its peak, COVID pandemic was its peak, my mother was suffering from corona, and she was in ICU. She was on ventilator. I was with her only. Still, I was like taking care of the school also. Simultaneously, I was taking her because both of the things were my priority, school as well as my mother. And this is because of hybrid learning that I was able to taking care of my mother as well as the school. No one suffered because we have come to in that era key we can do the things simultaneously. We don't need to go offline. We don't need to take holidays, leave, casual leaves, and this is the
blessings to a teacher.
Yes, it is. It is. Okay, like, ma'am, aaj hame we need holiday, we need leave, we need that. Okay, ma'am, we are going to take our classes online. Then only we need leave. That is very appreciable.
You go to Goa or you go to Guwahati, you can take your classes.
You can take your kids to Goa or Guwahati.
Yeah.
Right. We can take our kids. So using technology to enable digital courseware and interactive learning creates a more conducive like hybrid learning environment.
True.
So this enables teachers to focus on their teaching. This is, I believe. So I am finding it like very nice thing. And ma'am, actually what happens, we cannot stick to one kind of thing. We have to move forward.
We need change.
We need change. Actually, we need change. As we have chapter in class 10th, the fun they had. If we go to that, the fun they had, it's a chapter in English in class 10th. It is about that online teaching only. The students, they are having their classroom in their home. So when we are talking about that future, so we are in that future
Yes.
now.
So
So we need to take, we need to make our kids to come out from comfort zone. Yes, ma'am, Anupama ma'am.
so
Yes, I mean, that is what I wanted to say. Change is the only constant, and those who do not adapt to changes, they
Actually,
extinct.
actually.
Actually, digital, when we are talking about hybrid learning, yes, Nupur ma'am, there is no substitute to physical teaching. We are
Exactly.
allowing digital part into physical teaching. Taking over physical teaching has never been an option. There is no substitute to humans. Had there been a substitute to humans, of course, it's not. We don't live in the age of IQ. We live in the age of social quotient, SQs and EQs also, and that is possible only when we interact one to one. I remember we had been running our the Sahodaya meetings online, webinar through webinars, and the day we held our first offline meeting, yes, that pleasure, those smiles, they could be seen. So it's really important. Interactiveness, yes, but it is bringing and beating that monotony. It is beating that monotony that was required, and that has been brought in, and probably it would go on for something better now.
so
And I
I
would, excuse me,
yes,
Pragati ma'am, I would also like to say that we have like 40 minutes period, right? So in physical classes, what a teacher does, he used to say, keep quiet, be in discipline, chup raho. They like spend their half of the time in this only, be in discipline, keep quiet, like. And what after class learning is just as important as the 45-minute lessons. And now it's advanced technology that students are now able to continue their studies after school, doing
In
exercise,
fact,
completing assignment, and they are having their notes forever.
ready. And in fact, what we have started is we have our physical classes, and after that, the remedial sessions are held online. So
Right,
you
right.
have
Very
dual
true.
dual kind of a thing.
Now
One
we can
teacher,
do it.
you
Now we
have,
can.
yes,
Right,
we are doing it. You have
right,
four
right,
sections. We have four sections, three sections. One teacher would take it for
right.
all the three sections.
Exactly,
So it's
exactly.
not the paucity of the space or time or anything which is there. And
Hmm.
of course, there are problems, teething problems, Nupur ma'am, we understand. And trust me, this time, yes, everybody could not get connected to digital thing. And I really loved it, the way teachers handled it. My teachers, what they did, they made groups of children who were living nearby, and they made it a point that one child would hold it for them all. So
And the
there were
moreover, ma'am,
more affinity, more social assistance. So yes, it has brought that forward.
and
There are
moreover,
problems, there are
students
solutions.
are, ma'am, students are getting technically
So
strong.
they're
They are
becoming
technically sound.
stronger.
Right.
which is I think the
Or
need of
fair,
the
madam,
21st
मैडम
21st century.
I would agree with मैम. आज पेरेंट्स को भी अपने वो स्टेक होल्डर होते थे. Now they are truly a stakeholder. They have to
Actually, ma'am,
take their
actually.
stake now.
Right,
Now they're taking their stake.
right,
So they better understand the difficulties of learning.
right.
It's not that teacher does not want the child to learn. It is that they also have to put in some effort
They
to
also have,
to
right.
make the triangle. Those triangle with
Point.
the teacher, parent, and student all connected. Thank
Right,
you.
I would
right.
just like to add one point here, as Namrata ma'am said, that technology not just helped us out, and also Anupma ma'am has put forth, but it's only that children were always a native to technology. And it is you and I who have migrated. We are the immigrants, actually. So it has taken
Actually,
us a lot of effort to learn. For
right.
children, it came just naturally. So it is in their genes, I should say. And for them, it was just one level ahead. But for us, we had to start from scratch, because teaching was never a
Right.
profession
It
which
never-
really included a lot of technology. So I just
Ma'am,
wanted to add this.
actually, children simply migrated from Facebook to Zoom. We had to make a shift.
Yes, ma'am.
They had
True,
they
true.
had to cut that time down, and we had to actually
Really start
migrate
from
it.
the ground.
Absolutely. But
Actually,
it has
every
been
coin
a
has
year.
two aspects. Every coin has
Sure.
two sides, ma'am. So this is the hybrid
it.
learning, that every coin
Hold
has
it.
two sides.
Every coin has
Hold
two
it.
sides, and
Exactly,
we
hold
have
it.
to hold the coins with both the sides.
Right, ma'am. Right. Very true.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I can just hear out the better points also about hybrid learning. Actually, there are a lot of pros and very less of points. But yes, there are certain challenges which we all, we know, and
true.
when it comes to ground
Right.
realities, there are certain things which we really need to take care. So, my next question to all the panelists is, I'll start with Noopur ma'am, and I want to know her suggestion on that. We all know that in a bricks and mortar classroom, differentiated learning is a task itself. Now coming to a hybrid model where online and offline system both we have to take care, is how we are going to take care of the children for differentiated instruction or differentiated learning. How we are going to cater each child's need into this model.
As we have seen in the new education policy, and also like we have been growing through the years in education, although with the, I should say, the unprecedented COVID-19, it has taught us a lot of lessons, both as a teacher, as a parent, and also to the children as young ones. But we have seen that if the instructions of the teacher, if she is very clear in her concepts and her instructions, and she is able to detail out everything much before time, and she is able to send it across through various channels, whatever is available for her via online mode, then I'm sure she'll be able to have a class wherein the children are all ready for a brainstorming session for any particular topic the teacher intends to take up in her class the following day. But for that, the teacher has to do that extra work, because we need to now keep the students explore, because our classes are now basically, when we talk about online, they are becoming basically child-centered classes. And we have to give them, we just have to be mere facilitators. It is the child who is supposed to be doing all the investigation, the exploring part, finding out from various sources, and the child has to prepare and present. Like we have that concept of flipped classrooms. We also have the concept of investigative projects, which start at a very early age. Then we have art integration. So for all that, the teacher has to give a very detailed, clear-cut set of instructions. Then the teacher has to understand that we as facilitators should know that there are different bars of learning and everyone's capacity is not the same. In offline, of course, we have that great opportunity, as both ma'ams will agree with me, that we can at least make them sit in the class and finish your classwork, and we correct them, correct all the work, and we bring them at par so that they have some stuff to learn over the weekend. But in online, we really do not have any control on this part. Although we as facilitators are giving our best, we are giving information, we are giving them the ideas, and we are also asking them to prepare and come over. But this, if I say Tom and Jerry race, which we are having now in online, it is not easy. So we have to really run behind and make our classrooms very magical. As my principal ma'am always says, that it is the magic that the teacher has to create in the classroom in order to have the children spellbound. And they should be like looking forward to our classes, that, oh, this teacher, I'm not going to miss her class. So it is difficult, but the teacher has to do, I should say, not double, not triple, at least 5 times what she was doing in offline, because she has to prepare in the long run the series of sets of instructions which she needs to just give as the starting point. She has to set the stimulus, and the response has to come from the other side. The students are going to give the response. So we are going to make the classroom not a monologue, but a dialogue, and which is very important. Many a times in our online, we have seen, I as a teacher have seen also, that many a times I end up teaching for 40 solid minutes, and it's only me who's talking. And I do give a chance to the students to ask their doubts, no doubt, and also answer. But then it's been more of a monologue, because that dagger of finishing the curriculum on time is always hanging on our heads. That's one thing. Secondly, if we like we focus on one child in online and we give a chance to the child to speak up. Then in a way, I have noticed, because of my practical experience, that I am not able to focus on the remaining 25 students or maybe 30 students who are there in my group. So, but it doesn't happen in physical classes. In physical classes, we are able to watch all the 40 together, and they all know that, okay, we have to be in discipline. But many a times here in this case, we notice that when we are focused on this online shift, that we are trying our best to get the best out of the children, to extract the best from them. Sometimes we are making other children feel neglected, I would say. Many children say, ma'am, in today's class, I felt there were only 5 students because they were doing the presentation and all of us were mere. But in a physical classroom, what happens is, Pragati ma'am, that we are able to keep tabs on all the students in the classroom. But then good set of instructions, I would say the teacher has to first revamp her system of knowledge and the technology, whatever is there, so that she's able to guide the students accordingly. And motivation, of course, goes on. It is always there. And as I said, magical classroom. It can be for both. It is applicable for both online and offline. And using various tools, as we commonly use this phrase nowadays too much. The teacher-friendly tools, the student-friendly tools, the assessment tools. So everything what is there in our reach, to the best of our ability, we have to do that learning process, revamping ourselves in order to bring in that magic in the classroom. And I'm sure we'll be able to bring that interaction in the classroom, similar to what we are having generally in our offline classes.
Absolutely.
Over to you, Pragati ma'am.
Absolutely, Noopur ma'am. You are just speaking that teacher's heart out there and what exactly she's just feeling in a classroom and the practical troubles. And we have to understand these are the real practical troubles. Writing about it or just speaking about it might not help. But yes, discussing about it might give more insights and suggestions and ideas, generate more ideas. And I think the talk which NEP has done about AI may help a little bit hybrid along with the, AI might give a solution, not this year, maybe after 1 or 2 years. This is the time we are just, moving towards becoming better and more advanced. So I'll move to Namrata ma'am now. What is her, suggestion towards how we can make a classroom differentiated learning system, widely acceptable or applicable in a hybrid model?
Ma'am, I would like to say that newer technologies, they use artificial intelligence, as you have talked about AI. So newer technologies, they use artificial intelligence to analyze statistics generated from the learning process now. So analytical reports can be produced for classroom performances and also to track the progress in knowledge for individual students. So it helps to teacher to evaluate outcomes and improve their technology methods accordingly. So, and since the system can pinpoint weak points in each student's knowledge, nudge technology can be used to differentiate content to different students, putting adaptive learning into practice like.
Absolutely.
So
the data
hybrid
can
learning,
be used.
yes. Hybrid learning has been implemented now in many countries during the pandemic. And this has helped to support the partial opening of many student schools also. And now what we are in phase that we are on offline as well as online. So we can go with both the things, as I find it very useful for the kids as well as for the teachers. Earlier it happened, our kids are ill, they cannot give the exam. Now we are having that kind of facility that your kid can give online exam as well as they are on offline. Right. So I like to use both the technologies simultaneously. In fact, the term classroom is rapidly becoming absolute as hybrid learning bridge. It bridges the gap between physical and virtual learning spaces. So I feel in order to boost engagement between teachers and students, And also
there has
between,
to be new tools.
right, it should be in the
We have
same
to
way.
adapt. We have to adapt the
We
new
have to.
technology. We have to adapt
Actually,
the smarter ways of doing it. I would like
right.
to hear some points from Anupama ma'am also. What's her views that how in a hybrid model differentiated learning can be applicable? Ma'am, your mic is mute, Anupama ma'am.
Right. I would simply say, if I have a will, I have a way. Yes, it may be slightly different, but I won't put the word difficult to have or to reach out to each child. Yes, the teacher has to prepare a lot. In fact, I, as principal, had to prepare even more. And I started with it. I would spend hours with my teachers, making them take up classes, demo classes with the teachers, raising questions, different levels. I would have all language teachers attending science classes, and maybe social science teachers attending mathematics classes, so that the asking part would be even more. So that the teacher is more tuned to different kinds of the students, the I would say the mind width they had to tackle. And when it comes to having one student speaking or not, no, I would have my own time limit, time frame. I would give it four students making a presentation, and they have to cope up with, the type of questions that they have to ask, and the rest of the class will have to simultaneously ask questions. Yes, the teacher has to be, she has to work more. Or generally, I tell my during my trainings, I would say it's all upon the teacher. हम सबके पास दो मिसेस शर्मा होती हैं, हर स्कूल में होती हैं. एक वो होती हैं जिसके लिए बच्चा कहता है आज मिसेस शर्मा नहीं आई, और एक वो होती है जिसके लिए वो कहता है क्या यार आज मिसेस शर्मा नहीं आई. So which Mrs. Sharma I want to be is entirely up to me.
So now
It's entirely up to me. So it is for individual Mrs. Sharma to see what type of response she would like to have from her child. There, I don't find any problem. And if a person, I always call myself technology illiterate. I still, I've written around 40 books, and I have written the manuscripts with my own hand. I am still not comfortable typing, and even for my emails, I find it, mobile में जितना देख सकती हूँ. You may ask Abhinav, I still tell him that if you want to send me a message, send it on WhatsApp. Mail though I rarely check. I am one such person, but if I find it rather, I found it very challenging. But when I decided to go for a workshop, for Diksha Portal and others, we are right now working on this comic strips that CBSE is coming out next year. I mean, I and my team, we have prepared around 5 such novels on skill, and we have done it all online, though physically done, but still. But if a person like me can adapt, I feel we must remember चूहा बच गया नौ सब मर गए. So it is the adaptability which is going to make it happen or not happen. So that is it. There's no such problem. Yes, there were teachers who found it a little more difficult. There were teachers who were able to make it rather easily. But yes, sooner or later, everybody
will come on.
put their yes. And today, I mean, I feel happy if I go on around. I would find it rather happy कि भैया वो teacher be the one who said, ma'am, why don't you give it to the next teacher? I mean, I would be taking up the entire administrative work for these teachers. And I really put my foot down. I said, no, it's your children and you have to be there. So, Aj, even when you find even those teachers using at least 10 minutes of their time for digital teaching, yes, then I feel there is growth ahead, there is progress ahead. So yes, we need to spend more time. We need to work a little more. Now I have made it a point as the leader, I would say that they have to submit their lesson plan in digital as well as in their physical mode. So they have to understand when they prepare their lesson plans now, when they prepare their learning teaching point, their plans, it has to be in both the ways. It has to be an amalgamation, a hybrid teaching plan, I would say. So that is important. Once we learn to make a hybrid teaching plan, yes, we sit together. Yes, we spend a lot of time talking. Earlier, we used to have Thursdays booked for departmental meetings so that they could decide what is to be taught and how it is to be taught. Whatever is to be taught, the person may be different, but the mode and modalities need to be same. So similarly, they are doing it now on their virtual mode, on their they have to connect with one another. The entire department has to meet, have to have their own Zoom meet. They have to decide how to go about it. Uh, as I said, broadly speaking, we have four kinds of children, and our plans have always been an amalgamation for all the four of these people, four of these kinds, plus life skill equipped. So they had to bring it in physical mode. Now they are doing it in an hybrid mode. And I feel that there's not much of a difficulty. Yes, initial teething problems last year they were. Abhi to it's all smooth. I'm still sitting.
I would also I would also like to add one thing, that hybrid learning is not only useful for kids, it is for useful for teachers also, ma'am, because the trainings, if they
Yes,
see trainings, they have become so
yes,
easy
yes.
for a teacher, whether they are in kitchen, whether they are in their cars or bus,
I know.
anywhere. We can attend CBSE trainings and Diksha trainings. And it is compulsory for teachers to attend 50 hours trainings. So
And
it
I
is
believe
easy
that
now.
it will be easy. It will
It
be
will be
easy
easy.
both to say, because I remember there were used to be that small Nokia phones which were using tap
Right.
tap 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 tap. But now you ask anyone in this country that are they comfortable with that tap tap phone, or they're comfortable with the smartphone. So we have
Now
shifted
No,
around.
I tell you, last year I had prepared around 12 podcasts. और जब मैं podcast, when I was getting them recorded, I asked Saha sir, I said, sir, why podcast when we go for physical training? Because there are areas where all this does not work and पहुंचना मुश्किल होता है. So you make it in the way you teach. You take your training. So and last year he said, now you understand why I asked for the podcast. They are becoming
Absolutely.
so useful, so useful.
Right.
So Abhi, even those podcasts, we have started preparing these podcasts for our children
They've
also,
gained
and
their
they are
momentum.
helping us out.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Very
Gaining
interesting,
momentum.
actually. So I think we can go on talking for I guess another hour, but we are little short of time. So I'll
for us, we can go
yes,
for us.
yes, that's what the educator's mind is. But now I would move to the another section of this talk show. I'm going to ask one. It's a rapid fire. So we'll just wrap up in another 2 minutes. So I'll go to Ms.Namrata first this time. I have a question to you. The most important part of hybrid learning is trained teachers or technology?
Technologies.
Okay. The next question is to Ms.Anupma. Of hybrid learning is for long run or till COVID exists?
Long run.
Okay.
It's long.
Synodai.
Long run. So now I'll go to Ms.Noopur. After hybrid learning implementation, students will become more tech savvy or creative?
I just missed out the last word. Pragati ma'am, can you repeat?
Okay. So after hybrid learning implementation, the students will become more tech savvy or creative?
They'll become both, a blend of both. I
both.
wouldn't say non-creative, because they are becoming creative with the use of technology, and they are creating a lot of good modules on their own. So I would say it will be a blend of both. They are tech savvy, they'll become more, and at the same time, their creativity will also see a high.
Absolutely amazing. So I love talking to you all. Mind-blasting ideas of all the school leaders here. And so if I want to conclude today's session, I would say hybrid learning is more of a boon than a ban. A few challenges are there in front of us, but yes, whenever we apply a new system or we come up with something new, there are challenges. We should open our heart and open our arms to, accept hybrid learning. And I'm sure the parents will also accept it. Students are not denying hybrid learning. They were always in a favor of doing something online where they can go to Google, ask the parents, come up with the ideas. Yes, it will be a challenge for the teachers to get training, but yes, we have already dedicated 1 year of training, and now I guess another year is running, and after 3-4 years we'll be more empowered nation in terms of education. With all that optimism, thank you everyone for joining us for this insightful session. I'm Pragati Sharma, today's moderator, and with Myedubag, it was lovely to have you all. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Thank you so much
Pragati.
for having us all here. And it was a great
Yeah.
session, a lot of learning and a lot of exchange of ideas and thoughts.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Namrata
Thank
ji.
you.
Thank you, Pragati.
Thank you,
Thank
Anupma
you.
ji. Thank you, Noopur ma'am. Thank you, Pragati ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
ma'am.
Thank you so
Namrata
much.
ma'am. Thank you so much, Anupma ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And Ms.
Right.
Pragati.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Bye.